Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we use Donkey Kong Jr. math to calculate Nintendo's potential Switch 2 sales for the year. A laurel will protect you from the poison marsh, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society will protect you from the poison marsh with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, and then on Thursday, we're going to be starting our ABCs of Capcom on Nintendo. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
It's going great. I feel like this is perfect timing for us to talk about the ABCs of Capcom on Nintendo because
it will be on Thursday. That'll be
No,
the
you're right.
perfect
You're
time.
right. Right now, it's iffy timing, but looking promising.
Right.
Thursday
yes.
is going to be prime time to talk about the ABCs of Capcom on Nintendo. Because, I mean, not to jump too far ahead, but I've been playing Pragmata, and I'm loving it.
And I'm excited to hear all about that. But first, Mark, I got to know.
Yeah.
How did you spend the holiday today?
Oh, I didn't do anything.
We had a day off.
Uh-huh. I'll tell you what I did.
Okay. Yeah.
I recently bought like rolling drawers that can go under a bed for additional storage.
Yes.
And so I spent the time putting those together and then making a plan for what is going to go in them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
we have some
there
of
you
those.
go.
We have some of those, and they're drawers that you can like pull and access without having to like get all the way out like under the bed. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. So we have a couple different like underbed storage things. Two of them are just like drawers that, without yanking the whole thing out, you can just like pull the drawer.
Oh
out
yeah,
from
yeah.
under
I
the
see
bed.
what you're saying.
And in those, we mostly have physical media. It's like DVDs.
Oh.
Because it's like we so seldom access them. But then we also have a spreadsheet online, which DVDs are in which of those two things.
I love that. When I was a kid, I would love to play like library.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because checking things out is so fun. Like
Yes.
I mean, I guess like, did you ever have a period where it's like, or go to a children's museum where they would let you, like be a grocery cashier?
Yeah,
and
sure.
so you would
Right,
scan
yes.
grocery and, you
Mhm.
know, all of that. Like, I know just like all jobs, it has its drawbacks, but I think being a librarian
Yes.
for like a day or like a volunteer at a library would be super fun to scan the books.
You could do that. You could volunteer
to
at a
put the-
library.
No. No.
No, you could.
No.
I'm sure there's a library near your home.
But anyways, I love the idea of having your physical media like really organized in a way that
Yes.
you could start a lending library if you wanted to. I know it's for you,
Right.
but I love the fact that you have it that organized.
Yeah, I like that you could see like the cagey defensiveness in my eyes. No one's borrowing these. It's also like I don't know that it's that well organized. We just have it all cataloged.
Yes. So but do you know, so if you pull up the spreadsheet,
Yes.
does it tell you where, like in what drawer
Yes.
it is
says-
located?
Yes, under Sarah's side of the bed or under my side of the
Uh-huh.
bed. Or if it's somewhere else in the house.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then does it have like position in the drawer?
No, because it's kind of just like you pull the drawer out and you find it.
Are
in
you
there.
tracking the UPCs?
No.
Oh.
No, not tracking the
I
UPCs.
love how much you use spreadsheets in your day-to-day life. Like we have our
Yes.
like first party releases spreadsheets.
Our
We have,
first party releases spreadsheet and
Yeah.
the NSO Classics library spreadsheet. Yeah, it's just there are things, and you and I have talked about maybe putting one together for like Nintendo Directs at some point, because we keep wanting to refer to when things happen or what is. It's just good information for us to have at like at our fingertips when we're doing this show.
What did you do this weekend? How did you celebrate the holiday?
I-
Not celebrate the holiday. How did you spend the
Yes,
holiday?
how did I spend the holiday? Mostly, so yesterday we bought a bunch of mulch. So I put a bunch of mulch down in the yard, which is I spent it being my father.
Yeah,
is
we're
what I
living
did.
high octane lives is what we're or say, of course, after we did these things, we
Right.
hopped on our hogs and went for a ride,
Right,
raised
and
a
of
little
course
hell.
he means motorcycles.
Yeah. Hey, motorcycle heads, no. Hog
Yeah,
heads,
that's
no.
right. That's right. Hogheads, no. All right. If people want to hear us talk more about hogs, they can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yes, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies together and then talking about them. We just released an episode about The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Dun, 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 dun,
Uh-huh.
dun, dun, dun,
With
dun,
a friend of the show, previous guest, Nick Costanza.
Yes.
Big Star Wars head, perfect guest for that episode. A lot of fun to talk about that movie. You should check it out.
I'm obviously very invested in Star Wars, emotionally speaking. And after we recorded our episode, I was like, okay, now I can listen to like all the other podcast episodes that, all the various podcasts I listen to that would be talking about it. And I will let you know that we are not the only podcast that basically also spent the entire runtime talking about Star Wars in general. That is just a theme running through this. There's a lot of anxiety about what Dave Filoni is doing to Star Wars. So we engaged in that, but we also talked about the movie a fair amount. It's a good, fun episode. Check it out if you are on the Patreon. And also, if you are contributing at any level, the 4-bit level, or even just subscribe for free, there is content there available for you to check out. So get into it if that sounds interesting to you. Also, if you want to get in our Discord, you should be in our Discord. You just chat with us and with other people listening to the show. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. We'll send you an invitation, and then you get right in there and chat with us. Another little note here. I was on this week's episode of Video Games, a Comedy Show, hosted by a friend of the show, Jeremy Schmidt. We talked about that new Forza Horizon game that Jeremy is playing, and we talked a little bit about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which you and I will do in just a couple minutes here. But yeah, fun episode. Check that out. Mark, are you ready to get into what we've been playing this week?
Let's do it.
And then just so I'm not a liar and it's less than a minute from when I said a couple minutes from now, we'll start with you talking about Pragmata.
Okay, so Pragmata was released last month. Well, it is Pragmata.
Sure.
Yes.
What you versus Pragmata?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I understand.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what you were laughing at. Were you saying because I was referring to the release date?
Yes. It started to sound like you were going to
do a book report.
You were going to give a book report.
The dictionary defines
right.
Pragmata as no. The reason I bring it up is because obviously I'm like a month late to this party.
Sure. Yeah.
But I am having so much fun with Pragmata. Pragmata is the type of game, and I felt this way with Resident Evil Requiem as well, and like any good video game, where it's when I'm not playing Pragmata,
yes,
I am thinking about Pragmata and when I will be able to play it again.
So what? We can talk more broadly about like what your experience with the game is, but is the thing that is like sticky in your brain, is it like the moment to moment like gameplay combat experience, or is it more like the world? Like what is it that's
that's a good question. I feel like it's kind of a combination of both. Like, I played the demo when it was released earlier this year probably, and I liked it, but I wasn't totally sold on it. I was a little bit worried about having to, because, in Pragmata, the big gameplay mechanic is that you have Diana on your shoulder, and she's hacking the robots that are attacking you. And what that means is there's like a little minigame grid that you have to navigate in order to, basically make the robots vulnerable to your shooting attacks.
And meanwhile, you're also like strafing around. Or,
yes, exactly. And they're attacking you,
yeah.
And there's multiple there's all these different elements to it. And I was a little worried that just for my own taste that I wouldn't be able to that I wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy that multitasking part of it. But I think it works. It works so well. I'm having so much fun with that aspect of it. Plus, I think the levels are really fun and interesting to explore. There's a lot of like verticality to them. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of things to like
fun.
find. There's the boss fights I think are really fun. The worlds are also more varied than I was expecting. Like I guess itty bitty spoilers, but the second area that you explore is kind of like New York City-esque. They were trying to like reproduce New York City on this moon base. And that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a Times Square type area that you're going through. But the levels, like, they loop back on themselves in interesting ways. There are these challenge areas that are behind. You have to find like special red keys to unlock these red areas that are just like, oh, you're about to enter a difficult combat experience.
Cool. Like
you know,
broadcast like that. Yeah.
But even just like the levels themselves are like fun and interesting. Like I just went through an area where you choose there's like 3 different sections where you choose, are you going to room A or room B? And you can see which enemies you would encounter in each room. So it's kind of your choice. Like, do you want to go route A? Do you want to go route B? If you go the more difficult route, then the rewards are like a little bit different.
Oh, interesting. Like they rate the difficulty level?
Well, just based on like, the enemy types.
Oh,
you're
I
like,
see,
oh,
sure.
these will be harder to do. And it's just like fun little things like that. Like I die, not pretty often, but I've maybe died like 4 or 5 times. But and you don't respawn like immediately. Like if you die in a boss battle, you don't start right at the boss battle. You start back at your base, and your base is where you're upgrading your gear. You are choosing which like perks to equip, and so sometimes it's like, oh, you're back at the base. You go back to the level, but maybe there's a little bit of stuff you have to do again.
Yeah, sure.
But it's all fun. Like I never feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to go through this area again, because where they put those basically like hatches that you can fast travel to are always like strategically placed. It's just a really thoughtfully made, super fun. The relationship between like Diana and the main character, who maybe has a name, but I can't remember what it is.
I believe his name is Hugh.
Hugh, yes.
Yeah.
That's funny that you are not playing the game and you remember that, but
well, yeah. Just I remember clocking that he's Hugh Man.
Oh,
and
yes.
And she's a robot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But like, that relationship is really fun. It's just really good. It's just like a classic good video game that just really works.
And like moving the character around, that all like feels good.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that like and I don't know why I still kind of like hang on to this like idea that in a 3D Capcom game that there's like a chance that character movement's going to feel like a little bit heavy, that a little bit like
it is a little like heavy. There is some platforming that you do, and you have this like boost mechanic that basically makes you hover.
Yeah,
you're like R2D2 when he's flying around, with his
favorite feature of R2D2
in Attack of the Clones with his little jets.
Yeah.
You basically have that, and when you're doing those platforming parts, I would say that is maybe not like the most precise, but again, I've never found it like super frustrating to have to if I like fall, like repeat a segment or something like that.
Do you have a sense of how far into the game you are at the moment?
Not totally. So they do show you like an overall map of the different like locations you are going to, but how long those are going to take, I don't really have a good sense. I would say I've played for about 4 hours maybe, and I know that some of the reviews were saying that it's like a 10-hour experience or so, but
which I mean, I just want to put this on the record right here, because I'm also about to talk about a game that I think will probably tap out at about 10, 11, 12 hours. More games that length, please.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that excited me about Pragmata is when that came out. But I would say, I'm going to guess it's going to take me a little longer than that, just because I've died a few times. I'm doing some of the bonus stuff. That's the other thing. I am generally not a side content person. Like, I don't want to engage in your training mode. I don't want to engage in, like, your, like, I don't want to engage in any of that.
Mark doesn't like the VR missions.
Yes.
I bet you don't even like Chadley that much.
But
Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's the name of the guy who like operates the virtual fights.
oh yeah, I don't even know because right. Yes, the one that will like create materia as you're looking
Yes,
as you're
yeah.
investigating enemies
Mhm.
for him and stuff. Okay, yeah. In games in general, I do not want to engage in any of that stuff. But in this, I do want to. Like I'm enjoying it. I want to a degree. I'm not like
Immediately backpedaling.
but one thing that the game does that I like is when you're looking at the map, it shows you like, oh, there's a whole bunch of different collectibles you can get. And it shows you in an area how many of each kind are there. So it's never a mystery. But I did have to stop myself from being like, oh, I'm going to loop back and try to get everything, which again is generally not something I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that. I am just like pushing forward to make forward progress in the game. And I think that's the better call for how I play games. Because I could see myself getting frustrated and
Yeah,
then just
sure.
kind of like getting burnt out.
Do you have a
But-
sense of like as you are progressing through areas, if like you could revisit them if you do like reach like the end game and you're like, no, I would like to go back and like collect that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so when you are in the hub, you are taking basically like an aerial tram to the different areas on the moon, and all of them are accessible to
Okay,
you.
yeah.
So at any time, I could go back to a previous area, like a previous, basically like quick spawn point,
Yeah.
and hop right back in to explore it. But I've just continued to move
To press
forward.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. I really love this game. I am really enjoying it.
That's exciting. And what a year you're having, like games wise.
I know, yeah.
Like between this and Resident Evil 9,
and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which
Totally.
not Rebirth, Remake, which I really
Remake.
liked.
And,
Yeah.
and Rebirth comes out in a couple weeks.
I know, and I also have Indiana Jones that
Oh, yeah.
I want to play. I will tell you with Rebirth, I am excited to get to it, but I don't know that I'm going to play it when it launches.
I think that's fine. I want you in the right headspace for it, so don't force it.
I know, because I just don't feel right now in the mood for another big like RPG
And
like
it's
that.
just so big.
I know, that's the thing that worries me a little bit. But I also worry that if I don't start it, like when will I get to it? Luckily, I have the social pressure of wanting to please you.
Right.
So
Right. Well, and I won't even ask the question out loud. You'll just read it on my face.
yeah.
Have you started Resident Evil? Resident Evil. Dang it! I messed up. Final Fantasy.
I know, but
VII.
I also have Resident Evil 7 and 8 that I want to get
That's
to as
true.
well. So, yes, a bumper crop of games that are new to me on Switch 2 right now.
Well, and I mean, like,
I guess Pragmata is new to
Pragmata is
everybody.
new, yeah. And Resident Evil Requiem
Yeah.
was as well. So, yeah, very, very cool. I'm glad you're enjoying that game.
I've played it mostly in handheld mode, which was another thing I was worried about from the demo. But I played a few hours on TV today, like docked, and I mean, no surprise, docked is just so much better for this game.
Oh, yeah,
Whereas
sure.
I played Requiem primarily in handheld, and I think it held up fine. But those like levels, like the areas you're in, are so different from the more like vast, detailed areas. Also, Requiem is based in reality.
Right.
Whereas this has like sci-fi elements. So I find the lower resolution in handheld mode has been fine. I've been able to play it that way. But
you sort of prefer it on the TV?
because it definitely, I find that in handheld mode, it's especially when you're exploring areas and you're like, is this something back here? In handheld mode,
Yeah.
more often than I find myself more often being like, oh, it's not. Or I missed something that is more obvious with the better resolution of TV. And on the TV, it looks pretty remarkable. There is definitely some like texture pop in that's happening, but nothing that really detracts from the game.
Yeah, cool. I've been playing Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, but I also just want to touch on that I have been playing Star Wars Outlaws on PlayStation, my PS5, and on PS Portal, kind of a lot actually. But just wanted to point this out because I did start playing that game. Maybe not right when it came out, but a couple months later, like I think I got it on sale or something. And I got to a point where I got like trapped in a room really early on, and was just like, I can't figure out how I'm supposed to get past this. And I played exactly to that point. And it's so early on. If you've played the game, I'm about to tell you where it is, and you will laugh at how early in the game it is where I got stuck. It's the very first Pike infiltration mission. There's a room with two like turbo lifts, two elevators that you have to like position in different places so you can like climb up, and then jump and grab a wall that has like a grating on it so you can climb up. I got stuck there because I was like, I didn't know that I had to like jump at that wall because it wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't reading the signposting or whatever. Anyway, I got back to that point and was like, oh, I can see there's grating on that wall. I should climb up it. And I ran and jumped at it, and she didn't grab on and fell down. And I was like, oh no, I'm still stuck in this room. And then I did it again. And she grabbed on. I was like, okay, all right, okay, fair enough. But so I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws. I'm enjoying it, but I'm taking it kind of slow. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I am not taking slow at all. I'm really enjoying Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. There are, like, pretty early on, you can see that there are 6 chapters available, and each chapter has like 5 or 6, I think 6 little creatures in it, and you go into those. Each creature has like its own discrete map, like level that you engage with it in. At the end of the 6th chapter is like a boss fight with Bowser Jr. And what a like action set piece that is clearly climactic and is like the end of the story of the game, but then more chapters open up after that. So that's exactly where I am now. I have rolled credits on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book.
How long did it take you to get there?
Maybe I would say each chapter takes like about an hour, so maybe like 6 or 7 hours of gameplay. And as I'm going through, I don't get all of the. So every level that you go into, it's a little biome for one kind of special little guy, and there are you get stars for interacting with them in the discrete ways that you can, and then there are also flowers in each level as like a collectible, smiley flowers, and they have variable numbers of stars per level. And I never get them all when I like go through it. And part of that is because the game has just like this vast expanse of ways to interact with each of the little enemy characters, and some of them are not available to you when you like go through their levels in the first place. It's only when you like see those creatures again in someone else's level that you're able to like do so. Like when it's showing you like the results from going into a level, and you're like, okay, you got like 15 interactions with this new enemy, you also got one from this old enemy and one from this old enemy, and so it's just like the way it like populates the book is all like very exciting, and you'll see like drawings of the behaviors appear on the page, and then like little text fills in next to it, and like that reward structure is so cool and so fun, and I really like it a lot. Yeah, I'm having a blast with Yoshi and the Mysterious Book.
That's great. How would you say that it compares, I guess, in your enjoyment level compares to something like Woolly World?
Oh, I mean, I sort of think this is Goodfield's magnum opus. I always their games are like they're taking a platformer, right? And sort of like shifting the priorities to like it's not about platforming, it's about usually it's collection, right? And there's always a little bit of like an uncomfortable dissonance between like the priorities that they're espousing and the like existing mechanics for the franchise, right? And two Yoshi games in particular that are like that. And like you are still platforming in Mysterious Book, and you're still shooting eggs, and you're still sticking out Yoshi's tongue, but they have so smartly realigned everything towards how can you interact with these creatures, that like it just seems like it's perfectly aligned. Like they've been hamstrung by the wonderful, wonderful IP that they've got to work with over the last like 2 decades, and now they like really fit Yoshi into something different. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book feels like a different kind of game to me.
Oh, that's
it
really
doesn't
cool.
like it is a Yoshi game, but it's really just using Yoshi mechanics to do something wholly different. And it's based in exploration, in experimentation. I every single new guy that I encounter, every new level I go into, I genuinely don't know what it's going to be like what the mechanic of that level is going to be, and it's thrilling. There's one of these guys is called a Snurfboard, and he's like a surfboard slash skateboard, but he's got like eyes. And like I went into this level, and it's incredible because he's like scooting along real fast, and you're like jumping off of waves and like doing tricks and grinding on stuff. And there's another level that's just like a little fisherman guy, and so you got to like play basically fishing mini games. There's a one where it's like a hang glider, and so there's like all this like aerodynamic stuff that you're messing with. There are enemies that are there's one called Hogger, which is like an auger, but it's a boar, a hog, if you will. And so it's like boring through like sand and cracking through stuff. And like, it's just so cool and fun and exciting. And, I unlocked those 4 post-game chapters, and I played like 1 or 2 little entries in it. And it's just crazy that it's like, here are more guys to meet.
That's what I was wondering. So the post game is just more.
It's just more game. Yeah.
But are there new creatures to
Yes.
discover? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That, like every chapter introduces a fresh 6 new characters to meet and like interact with.
So
while also looping in like your old ones.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So the old ones do continue to persist.
Yes, like there will be, so like early on, very early on, and we've seen these in like all of the trailers and stuff. The Crazy Daisy, which is just like a little flower who like walks around, and like Crazy Daisies are in basically every level.
Okay.
And Crazy Daisies will make flowers bloom when they're nearby, and like Crazy Daisies of different colors will make like fruits bloom in the areas where they are. Or like a red one will make a red hot pepper grow, and the red pepper, if you feed it to other enemy types, will cause different behaviors in them, and also in Yoshi. So yeah, it's just this like sort of infinitely compounding like levels of complexity of how these guys are interacting with each other. I don't want to like oversell it. Like it is still like a pretty simple game, but like it has some of that like Breath of the Wild. Hey, I wonder if this works, and then you try it and it does.
That's cool.
And it's just very exciting and rewarding. The music's great.
I was gonna ask about that.
Because I generally don't think the Yoshi music is all that good. Like a couple like catchy tunes, but like there's usually just sort of like a baby music arrangement to these things, which is bad, but not so in this. It just sounds it's all very like pleasant and good.
How does it perform? The reason I ask is because Princess Peach Showtime
really struggled. And
so have you seen anything like that?
I've not seen anything slow down.
Yeah.
The art style is so it's stylized, right? Because you look like it's sort of like a sketch on like a field guide almost, and all of that is beautiful and performs perfectly. Like I've not seen any dropped frames or anything like that.
Now all the little dudes, you have the opportunity to either name or use
or shame them
or use the canon names.
Yeah, I've been using all the canon names.
Okay, yeah.
Partially, we talked about this last week. That like I want to learn I want to know what they're called so that I can talk about them with someone else in the future. Also, after like doing a whole level with them, I am like, no, I want to know what you call this thing. I'm not like, now I get to call it, and then I got to come up with something. Get out of here.
So is that at the end of a chapter? Is when
right.
you put that in? Yeah.
Well, not the end of the chapter, but the end of like that level.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
at the end of like the first time you encounter them and like do all of the things, or as many of the things as you can. There's always like one main objective that once you complete that, there's like a sort of like sparkling area that you go into, and that'll end the level. Otherwise, and you can always opt to like collect that and then keep exploring, and then otherwise you just like back out to go, to other pages and explore other guys.
Are you being a completionist in this? Do you have any intention to be?
I don't think I do. There's a hint system in the game where you can see there's always like one more behavior that's like shown or like sort of like silhouetted on the page for each creature that you can like ask for a hint about to try and like activate those things. And I'm just collecting tokens right now and not really spending them on like getting those hints. I don't know how I will feel when I've like actually completed seeing all the new stuff, if I will want to go back. But no, like I move on basically right away. And part of that was I knew that the chapter 6 is like something special, and that more stuff would open up afterwards. One thing that does open up after chapter 6. So if you are playing this game, absolutely just like mainline it. Like don't like backtrack on stuff until after you've hit chapter 6, or finish chapter 6. When you do that and the credits roll, the game allows you to purchase sort of randomly new HUD elements, like a radar that shows you where the nearest smiley flower is, something that, and some of them are of like dubious use, where there's one that's like a thermometer. You're like, why? I don't need to know how hot it is. But there's there's like a Yoshi heart rate monitor and like
funny.
all of this stuff. And so you're buying these things at random, and then you can place them on your screen.
Cool. That's fun.
It's really cool and really silly, of limited utility, but like, every now and then I'm like, oh yeah, I do want to know. You can like set up a little meter that shows you like how many of the interactions you've had with that creature, and so you can like watch it fill up as you're doing that. And like that's kind of nice. So you have an idea of what percentage you are finishing a level with as you're playing it. Very cool. And those you buy with smiley flowers. So get to that. If you have like a completionist mindset, get to that, purchase some of those new HUD elements, and let them be useful as you go back to actually collect the stuff.
On this show, like the price of Nintendo games has been something that we've talked about a lot in the past few months. Do you feel like Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a good value? Like, do you feel like it's appropriately priced, that you're getting your money's worth? Like,
yeah, well, so I pay, it's a 60 digital, 70 physical. I got it physically for 60.
Right.
Through the Amazon pre-order price that was sort of matched to.
Yeah, that's something that we don't have in news, but
yes, let's talk about it here.
Yeah.
So that price, which Amazon and Walmart are showing for, or were showing for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, are showing for Star Fox and
Splatoon
Raiders, has now sort of revealed itself to just be for pre-orders. Like as soon as Yoshi and the Mysterious Book came out, they returned to normal MSRP price. So if you want to get these physical games for just a few cents under the cost of digital, you have to do it before. I assume it'll be the same.
I
for
assume
Zelda
so
and
too.
Splatoon,
Yeah.
Or
so
Star Fox.
you should pre-order
Yes.
your physical copy from Walmart or Amazon to lock in that price, because
Right.
seemingly as soon as the game is actually released, they go back
They jack
to
it up.
full price.
Right.
Yeah.
And I imagine that I will get roughly a dozen hours of play out of this game, and I'm really enjoying it. So like, yeah, I could see where maybe that wouldn't be worth $60 to everyone, but I don't feel as though it's ripped me off at all.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff you're describing, I remain dubious just because of my own previous experience with
Yes.
the developer, but everything you're describing sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
It's just funny that like the same developer that can put out Princess Peach Showtime is capable of something like this.
Well, and because Princess Peach Showtime is, like, for all of its flaws, trying something.
Uh-huh.
Right? And it's just like every transformation is a different game type, and like basically none of them work. Or like a handful of them sort of do, and then like a lot of them feel like blow off mini games. We don't need to trash Princess Peach Showtime again. But yeah, this is just like a far superior game in every way. It looks better, it performs better, the moment to moment like stuff you're doing is better, and it has this wonderful unifying idea of like you want to meet all the fun creatures and like study them, and like it feels very much like Pokemon Pokopia in this way, where I'm learning about, like, there is some like you're eating them or like fighting them a little bit, but for the most part you encounter a new guy and it's like sort of your buddy and you're like helping it out, and it's so cool to have like the violence so deprioritized even in a game that I'm not like upset about violence in Yoshi games, but yeah, just that like the default interaction with these things isn't fight it. Anyway, really enjoying Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. All right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Sorry, I did have one more question that
Yes.
I thought of as you were transitioning out of it. So you finished the main game. You've done some of the post-game stuff. Do you intend to do all the post-game?
I'll do all the post-game stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I will do every chapter and meet every character in this. I just probably won't get all the stars in all of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, well, moving on to new releases. So we'll check in with Nintendo Music, which they did release something on Thursdays
That's it.
Nothing today. So I think they are on a Thursday cadence.
Yep. And that's a pattern that's 3 times, right?
But last week it was the soundtrack for The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
Which is a game that, like, soundtrack I don't know very well. So excited to have that kind of like available, presented to me as new, as a reason to check it out.
It is, I've listened to a couple tracks from it. And I had like the same kind of experience where I was like, I guess I must have just been playing this. So I think I do a lot of handheld games where I just play with the volume down.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe I'm in public or, whatever. Don't want someone else subjected to the music coming out of those tinny little speakers. And it's cool. It's not quite as different as like the Triforce Heroes music, but like it's playing with a lot of the same like instrument sets and is making a lot of references to A Link to the Past, obviously, because it's a direct sequel to it. So yeah, it's cool and fun.
Moving on to game releases, this is not releasing on Nintendo platforms, but it was supposed to. Just pointing out that tomorrow, May 27th, 007 First Light is releasing on other platforms. Still undated on Switch 2. Later in the summer is the last that we have been told.
Yeah, and as of the time that we are recording this on Monday, reviews have not yet dropped.
I don't think so.
I feel like I would have seen them. So I imagine reviews are out today on Tuesday.
You would think so.
But kind of a late review embargo. Although for a Wednesday release, I guess it's all a little wonky. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna move on to Thursday.
Sure.
Patrick, you highlighted 3 things here. If you want to run them down.
Coming to Switch 2, Stray coming out digitally, and the Lollipop Chainsaw Repop edition for Nintendo Switch 2. Just kind of interesting to see these sort of like higher profile games making their way to Switch 2 is exciting. Also, Street Fighter 6 is getting DLC. Ingrid is a new playable character coming out on Thursday. Ingrid, a character I have never really been able to wrap my head around, but she'll be there. I'll always love seeing Street Fighter 6 characters.
And then on Thursday, also, just like wow. That was going to be some rough
It was pretty good.
Verbiage.
I liked it.
Like was announced last week,
on
Thursday, the new Nintendo mobile game Picto Nico is supposed to be released. I have this like pre-ordered, I guess, on from the Apple App Store,
like the free version. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can pre-order the the volumes.
I should be alerted when it is available.
Yes.
I'm
very interested to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
I think it'll be fun.
I can't think of why it wouldn't be. It's
right,
like WarioWare micro games using your own photos. Yeah, that sounds fun to me.
Yeah, sounds fun to me too.
And then on Friday, Mina the Hollower is released on Switch and Switch 2.
This is what I'm talking about. Mina the Hollower coming out this Friday. Very excited. Been waiting for it for a while. Yeah, I'm thrilled.
I also imagine reviews for this are going to drop pretty soon.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Sometime this week, I would bet. All right, those are the new releases. Let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance, 433, Mark and I'll talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece.
All right, today we are going to be taking, it was Memorial Day yesterday.
Start of summer.
So
Mandalorian and Grogu came out. That's the start of summer.
So we're going to be taking CNN's summer quiz.
Thanks, CNN. And when you think summer, you think CNN.
When you think fun quizzes, you think CNN. So here we go.
Yeah.
An amusement park is a great place to have some summer fun, says CNN.
I don't disagree.
Where was America's first roller coaster built? Is it Cleveland, New York, Detroit, or Miami?
I'm going to say New York.
I'm going to say New York, too, but... Okay, we're going to go with New York. Miami's right out.
Yeah.
There's no way it's Miami.
No. But New York is just like by virtue of settlement, right?
Yes, it seems likely that they would want some sort of roller coaster.
The Cyclone.
Okay, we are correct. The first roller coaster in the U.S. opened on Coney Island. Okay.
Yeah, exactly what we were thinking. Right.
Okay.
Now we know these aren't trick questions.
No, that's right. Number 2, but CNN could be incorrect. You could also beat the summer heat inside a cool movie theater.
Sure.
Which movie is considered to be the first summer blockbuster? Star Wars, E.T., Jaws, or Jurassic Park? I think it's Jaws. Jaws came out before Star Wars.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, I think it's Jaws. Yes, it is Jaws. Hot dogs are...
Also, sorry.
Yeah.
What a perfect summer movie as well, right? That it's like about summer.
Oh, totally. It's about the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Also, that it's either Spielberg or
Lucas.
Yeah. Hot dogs are a summer staple.
Sure.
Which city's residents consume more hot dogs annually than those of any other city? Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, or New York City? It's probably Chicago, right?
Probably Chicago. Could also be Detroit, though. Go with Chicago.
I'm going to go with Chicago. No, we're wrong. It's Los Angeles.
I mean, that honestly, they're all good answers. Maybe Chicago is no because there are too many like brats and other sausages and stuff.
Maybe. Here's what the little message says. Los Angeles residents consume more hot dogs annually than any other city, about 28 million pounds, according to the National Hot Dog and
So this
Sausage
isn't
Council.
per capita. So we could have taken that into consideration.
Yes. Much of that appetite can be traced to the iconic Dodger dog. Maybe, but that's a lot of Dodger dogs to eat.
Also, come on, they're like every baseball stadium sells hot dogs.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. We love our hot dogs, I guess. Watermelon.
When's the last time you had a hot dog? I think for me, the last time I had a veggie hot dog was at a Dodger game last year.
I think the last time I had a hot dog was in 2022, and I was at the Austin Grand Prix, like Formula One Grand Prix, and the food options were limited, and I was so hungry, and so I housed like 3 hot dogs and 2 hamburgers.
Yeah, Slimer style.
yeah,
Tossing
totally.
them in your gullet.
Slimer style, totally.
Oh, that's another. Oh, I can't actually talk about Nintendo right now. Sorry, keep going.
But put a pin in it.
I will.
Watermelon is one of the season's most refreshing treats. Roughly what percentage of it is actually water? 30%, 50%, 70%, or 90%?
Let's go 90%.
Yeah, I think it's going to be high. It's 90. It is correct. Yeah. The average watermelon is about 92%. Memorial Day weekend is a great time to hit the beach. I don't really care for the way this is set up. There's something about it.
It feels like it's selling you something. Yes.
Which state is known as the Ocean State? California, Florida, Maine, or Rhode Island?
Maine.
Okay. No. The Ocean State is the official nickname of Rhode Island. While it's the smallest state in the U.S., Rhode Island boasts some 400 miles of shoreline.
I guess Maine is vacation land.
I didn't know either of those. Like I had, yeah. Speaking of states, state fair season is getting underway.
Sure.
Which fair is the largest in the U.S.? Iowa, Minnesota, State Fair of Texas, or Wisconsin?
I've been to both the Minnesota and Wisconsin state fairs. State fairgrounds in Milwaukee are quite large, but the Minnesota State Fair I think is bigger.
Okay,
but it's got to be Texas, right?
That's my thought.
Yeah, go with Texas.
Okay, Texas is correct.
Great.
Many travelers also choose cooler destinations like Alaska,
Sure,
Scandinavia, or coastal regions to
Okay.
avoid extreme summer heat. Which region holds the record for the hottest summer temperature in history? Death Valley, Mojave Desert, Antelope Canyon, or Badlands National Park?
Death Valley?
That's what I'm going to go with. I don't feel strongly about it, though, but we were correct.
Very good. How many more questions do we have?
There are 3. Do we want to do it? Or do we want to just end it there? And you can talk about Nintendo.
Let's end it there.
Okay.
We were accompanied today, with a new recording of 433, or new to us at any rate, pianist Cole Wright at UC San Diego. All
Go
right.
Tritons.
Thank you. All right, Mark, let's get out of this segment so we can talk about Nintendo again. The thing I wanted to add about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book,
Yeah.
and this will surprise you if you listen to our episode about enemies in Yoshi games, very few ghosts.
Really?
Basically none. There's like one sort of gelatinous creature that's like made of water, but that's it. No ghosts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are there any spooky element? I mean, you said there was a ghost, but you know how in the previous game there's
Yeah.
like that one crazy
Yeah.
clown axe murderer thing?
No,
Anything equivalent?
I have not yet encountered a crazy clown axe murderer. There is one of the enemies is like a crab that's like inside like a bush that like it moves with it, and you do spend that whole level like creeping around just to not wake it up, and you like hide in tall grass and like under logs and stuff. But yeah, so that's maybe the closest. The news?
The news.
Yes.
Nintendo's official forecast for Switch 2 sales this fiscal year is 16.5 million consoles. This is what they announced a few weeks ago when they revealed their financial earnings for the year and their forecasts for the 2027 fiscal year. But according to an unconfirmed report in Bloomberg, Nintendo is reportedly planning to manufacture 20 million consoles in the fiscal year,
which is some 3.5 million more than what they're projecting to sell.
So, you know, Nintendo has a history of setting conservative initial forecasts, kind of like sandbagging, and then raising them. So Switch 2 was originally, they set at 15 million, then they raised it to 19 million, but they sold just shy of 20 million. It was like 19.82 million or something.
Right. And I gotta say, I like, there are so many times where like out of whack goal setting like sets up a publisher for failure, or really anyone in any line of business for failure. I like that Nintendo can set like goals that they're like, or you know, projections that they will meet, or that they have the ability to meet.
Yeah, that they fully intend to meet. I mean, there is also this looming price increase that
Sure.
Who knows how it's going to affect demand, but also,
yeah, I mean, because it does seem like there's, you know, obviously once the price has raised, that will have like a depressing effect on sales. But in the lead up to that, like how many people are going to buy one in August, right?
Right.
Like after we've had an E3 Direct, if they have something, E3 in quotes, a June Nintendo Direct that reveals something that people actually really want to play. Or even just like the looming specter of Pokemon Winds and Waves, you know?
Right. Well, and we've seen that play out in Japan because their price increase,
Yes,
like is happening now, I think, versus everywhere else where it starts on September 1st. So these past few weeks, the Switch 2 sales in Japan have been holiday level.
Right.
You know, they've been so high because people are like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pick one up before the price increase.
No point waiting now. Yeah.
Will we see that phenomenon also in other parts of the world?
Right.
Also, maybe there's some of this is like, let's manufacture more now as a hedge against additional future like component price increases.
Yeah, totally
so, like,
possible. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like it is more expensive now, but it could be even more expensive in a year. We don't know. So let's just manufacture a little bit of buffer at this price. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I do think that there's a good amount of momentum that they'll have to overcome with the price increase, and hopefully if there is a June Direct, I think everybody's expecting a June Direct because we don't have very much clarity on, we have zero clarity on the rest of Nintendo's year. So
right after July.
yeah.
July, and then the sort of like question mark around Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Yeah.
But I think what they show off there will like help us understand how, what kind of software
what kind
do you
of year
have?
this is.
Yeah.
Well, because it is so interesting. We're about to talk about Tomodachi Life, but like Pokemon Pokopia has been a really solid seller. They added it to, it is one of the 3 games that you can get as a digital pack-in with
It started early, by the way. They had in the press release they had announced that it would start in early June, but last week retailers started selling it. So
yeah, so all of which is to say, like, that is a game that's like a little bit of a system seller. It's again, we're going to talk about Tomodachi Life in just a second, but like if that were a Switch 2 game, I wonder, would it be like experiencing the same level of popularity? Would it be driving system sales?
Well,
does it anyway?
I mean, Nintendo told us that 40% of those sales, of those almost 4 million in 6 weeks or whatever it was, maybe even less than that. But anyways, the 4 million the almost 4 million that it had sold, 40% of that was from the Switch 2.
Yeah,
which is pretty high when the install base of the Switch is over 150 million.
It is like 5 times the size. Yeah.
Let's
talk about it.
Yeah. So Tomodachi Life Living the Dream is projected to be the best-selling game in April in the U.S., and the Switch 2 the best-selling console, according to the analytics firm Circana. Tomodachi Life is also currently the 9th best-selling game of the year to date. This is the first month that Circana is projecting digital sales for companies that don't share data with them, like Nintendo. So historically,
how do they do that? Tell me historically first, then we'll talk.
I was just going to say, like in the past, Nintendo first-party games have always shown up lower on the list.
Although sometimes they hit number 1 anyway. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. Maybe I think Tears of the Kingdom did or something like that. Like the
big boys do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But since Nintendo doesn't share digital data with Circana, up to this point, Circana hasn't projected those numbers. And so we've never, from Circana's reports, we've never had a really good picture of how a Nintendo first party title is performing, because it's missing like 40-50%
or
sale,
more.
We don't know. So they've going forward, starting with their April reporting going forward, they are saying they're now going to project that information,
whatever that means. And I wonder if that really is just like assuming what percentage of, because maybe they have enough information looking back through what Nintendo actually reports as to like what people are buying digitally versus physically.
And maybe they can compare to what like people who do report digital numbers to them,
that's possible.
And like do spreadsheet stuff to make it all
just do spreadsheet stuff. Yeah. But it's just so interesting that like Nintendo is and the Switch 2 is such a sort of like specific case, because there are so many different factors that go into whether you'll buy something physical or digital, that I don't think are really quite the same as like if you're going to buy a new game on your PlayStation 5, right?
Right.
Where it's like memory's a real concern on the Switch, but also like maybe you want it physical because like you're a Nintendo collector and there's so many of those out there. And also some of the games are game key cards. So like there are all these different back and forths of like, what can you actually project based on people's relationships to physical games on other platforms?
Yeah.
It seems almost unrelated.
A Switch port of Genshin Impact was announced way back in 2020, but has never materialized up to this point. It's so funny that when that game was announced, it's a huge, like I think free to start. It's like a gacha game, right? I obviously have not played this.
Yeah, I mean it's gacha in its rewards, but I think it is mostly like running around a world, right?
Right. Well, when it was first revealed, it looked like a Breath of the Wild ripoff, if you remember.
Right.
But it obviously is super popular and has kind of grown into its own thing. So a Switch port was announced in 2020, but the last update we heard about it was in 2022, where they said it was still in the works. But there were rumors that the Switch wasn't actually powerful enough to run it. And so, but apparently the latest version of the game has added Nintendo Switch to the in-game account login manager internally. So like internal builds of the game, maybe indicating that there will be a Nintendo version for real in the future. Probably
Switch 2
version.
Yeah.
The publisher hasn't like announced anything, but just kind of interesting if this does end up making its way to Switch.
Genshin Impact was one of those games that, like, whenever there was a partner showcase or whatever, that like would get spammed in the chat, right?
Right.
So if this happens, that'll shut up that one little bit of, just like how Hollow Knight Silksong was that for a long time.
And where are those people for Steep?
Yeah, where is Steep?
Did Ubisoft ever officially
I don't think so.
Cancel it, or did it just go away like Borderlands 4 is going to?
Wow. But, Ubisoft did, remember Skull and Bones was another one of their like projects that like went away forever, and then that game actually came out.
Right.
So, never say never with Ubisoft.
But wasn't that like a contractual obligation with Singapore?
It was, yes.
Yeah. The Japanese website for Star Fox parentheses 2026 has been updated to show that a day one update will be required to unlock features in the game, like the online battle mode and the game chat, character avatars, and AR features.
Which, normally I think we like it when Nintendo games have everything on the cart from day one. These are all online features, so it's like, okay, you're going to need to be online to use them anyway. May as well be okay that you have to download them as well.
We're also now just a little under a month from the game's release.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I am still very excited to play it. I've mellowed way out on like whatever little bits of it I was like upset about before. I'm like, it's fine. I'm just gonna play a remake of Star Fox 64.
Yeah, there's no. I was talking to when we went and saw Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
Nick's friend joined us as well.
Yes.
And afterwards, we were like walking to the parking garage together, and we were talking about, I do like a Nintendo podcast. Nick's gonna be a guest, like such and such. And he was like, oh, did you see that there's a new Star Fox? And I was like, yes. Had you seen the rumors before? And he was like really excited about it.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, the art style took a little bit for me to get used to it, but now I'm like really excited for everything. And I was like, oh, had you seen the rumors before that a new Star Fox game was coming? And he was like, no, I had not.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm like,
maybe,
okay, yes, it makes sense. Normal people who, are not super tapped into this
hold on.
stuff.
He's a pretty big Star Wars fan, so how normal could he be?
But you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
People who are not super tapped in, I think had a very different reaction, because I shared your initial kind of like, I will say for myself, disappointment that it was just a Star Fox 64 remake.
The 1-2 punch of it's a Star Fox 64 remake and it looks like this.
Yes. Yeah. But so it was interesting to have like an outsider's perspective, basically on that.
Unlike us, we're insiders, I'd say. But I'm still very interested in what else is in this game, right? Like, we know that there are more character avatars than they've actually shown us,
right?
And whether it is just speculation or rumors that there are like other levels or other things in the game that they have not shown us yet. I'm not like holding out hope that there's like something huge in there, but like whatever new content is in there, I'm excited to engage with.
Yeah. I do think it will be nice to have the like world blown out a little bit. Like, honestly,
sure.
Like the cutscenes are one of the things that I'm looking forward to. Like explaining some of the lore a little bit more. We'll see. Lego is teasing a new Donkey Kong something.
Mm-hmm.
They released just like I think it showed up on Nintendo today, and then on Lego social media, they released just a little teaser. It's like wooden Donkey Kong or wooden looking
Like
Lego
the 8-bit barrel
yes,
from
exactly,
Donkey
like
Kong
rolling on a
Arcade, yeah.
table.
Mhm.
Donkey Kong, of course, has already appeared in some Lego sets, like the Super Mario sets and the Mario Kart sets. But previous rumors are that they are making a Donkey Kong like arcade cabinet that's supposed to release in August, which is similar to Pac-Man one that launched in 2023, where you're making like the arcade cabinet. Obviously, you can't play it, but some of the things inside it move, and then there's some
Yeah.
other accoutrement
Well,
around it that's more interactive.
remember there was like a Super Mario Brothers one that was like a.
There was like was it the NES or Game Boy or
I think
something?
it was the NES.
Oh yeah, there was an NES one.
And like a TV that like had like the layout of a level, and you could like scroll the background and move Mario around on it. Yeah, I mean, we're chatting about this a little bit in the Discord, but the level layouts from the original Donkey Kong arcade are so like iconic that like a Lego set of one of those, especially the first level, would be pretty cool, pretty fun.
Last week, a new update for Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo
Yeah.
was released. Version 4.0.0 includes 2 new features. Added a shuffle favorites feature that shuffles your alarm scene each day from a list of scenes you favorited.
Which I think is actually quite smart.
Yeah,
And I
totally.
like that they've allowed you to just limit the shuffle to the ones that you are interested in, because there are some of the alarms that are like genuinely upsetting, or like, I don't want to wake up to the sound of Pikmin drowning. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like the sounds of bokoblins battling. That's not good. But like the sound of like the sun rising in Breath of the Wild, or some, sweet thing happening in Pikmin, absolutely.
They also updated the alarm scene selection. So instead of scrolling through a list of all the scene options in one list, you select a game first, and then you can see the ones within that game. It was just like nice little quality of life updates that this thing continues to get.
And yours has still never come out of its box?
Never, but I'm just but how perfect it'll be once it finally does emerge, right? Because it'll have
that's
received all of these updates.
Well, you will still have to make it receive those updates.
Right, but by the
Connect it to
time
the
I
internet,
use it,
plug it
it
in.
will, yes.
Yeah.
Finally, a new Tetris 99 Maximus Cup celebrating Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is happening this weekend.
Woo!
It runs Friday, May 29th through June 1st in the Pacific time zone. Earn 100 points, just like other Tetris 99 Maximus Cups, and you get to keep the theme.
Just as always. We always appreciate a Tetris Maximus Cup.
Yeah, totally.
Again, they've done or not again, but this is one where they've done a really nice job of aligning it with the release of the game. Just a week later. Tomodachi Life was also pretty well timed, right?
Yeah. In fact, maybe
they've figured out this pipeline.
I know, because there were times where it would happen like months after the fact,
or sometimes a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
And I guess there's an argument to be made for like any time in there, right? Like something to like build up hype a little bit, or something just to remind people that the game just came out, or to hit it again 4 months later. And it's all got to be so marginal anyway, that like how many people are being driven to a video game because they played the Tetris Maximus Cup themed after it. How many people are even playing those anymore?
Yeah, I wonder.
Very cool that they're still updating that.
Yeah.
That it's still getting content.
Yeah, and that it's still around.
I wonder how long that'll be like that.
I know, because I mean, honestly, it won't be that long until Tetris 99 is like 10 years old.
Yeah.
2 years, right? Probably. I think it came out in 2018.
Let's see when Tetris 99 came out.
Yeah, we're both
We're both going way too slow here at finding. I'm trying to use.
Okay, I got it. 2019.
2019. So it's still, we're still 3 years away.
Oh wait,
from
no, that's the physical release. Oh, darn it. No, we're no closer.
Gosh. Okay, all right. Hold on. Wait,
no, I think it is 2019.
Okay.
I think it is 2019.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, just regardless, it's a Switch 1 online game that they are still updating. Just with these Tetris Maximus Cups. You think they ever do like a Switch 2 version? I guess what would be the point?
Right. Right.
What a bizarre little game in their lineup. All right, Mark, that's the news. Let's close this out. That is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to join our Discord, you can. All you gotta do is send us an email. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8BitBetty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, this is Patrick Eller saying, my co-host Mark Mitchell, actually. May as well name him. He's here. He's looking at me. He's nodding, smiling. Doesn't think I should be talking this long. We're saying thank you for listening.